Okay, Mr. Fitz here, hope you're going well. This little tutorial is going to show you the process of assembling your basic box. So by the end of it, it should look a little bit like this one. I've already created one of these here. So this is what we're trying to aim to achieve. And all going well, your box should have a lid and it should be able to move like this. To start building an assembly like this, the first thing we need to do is we need to create a new file. So we're going to create a new design. Also good at this stage to have your data panel open. So this should show on the left hand side all the components that you have built for the model. So it's important that you have created all the parts. Now, when we build an assembly, you just have to assume this is like building your product on your table in front of you. So the first thing we want to do is probably put the first part down on the table. We're going to use the box base. Now we're going to click and drag this out from the window. And this should drop that right into the middle there. Now the first thing it does when it puts it in is it asks, do you want to move this? As long as yours looks like this, that's fine. Just go OK. You might need to, if it's not in the right orientation, you can click on one of these and you can spin it this way or this way. You can play around with those if need be to make it look like this. Cool, then just go OK. Now another alternative, sometimes the drag and drop function doesn't always work on everyone's Fusion. So what you can also do is go over to Insert and click here, and that should bring up this dialog box here, and then you can find the specific parts you want to bring in. Now the process to build your box is just one step at a time. So the next thing I like to do here is to drag the next part out. Let's start with the back of the box. Now when I bring this part out, you can see it throws it in the middle. Good advice when you first throw it in is just to move this into a rough location. A little bit, I usually like to put it a little bit further away from where you want it to sit and in the same orientation. So that looks good, and go OK. One thing to point out here is that the first part you bring in, the base, on this little icon here, it has a little anchor. That basically means that this first part is grounded. If I click on it and try to move it, this thing does not move. Whereas this part, the second part, I can click and I can actually move this. So I can move it by hand like this, or what I can also do is go modify and move copy. If for some reason you decide that you want to rotate it, in this dialog box you need to change from bodies to components. This is called a component. If I click on here, I can then go and move it and spin it and so on and so forth. So just leave it at like that for starters. Now, the way we're going to build your box is you could at the beginning bring in all the parts and then orientate them. The trickiest part of the assembly is we actually want to create what's called some joints, which are some connections between the parts so they sit in place correctly. In order to apply a joint, we can do that by, I'll just minimize this so we can see a little bit better. Under Assemble Joint, or you can see here there's a keyboard shortcut of J. I'm a big fan of shortcuts, so press J on your keyboard. Now, really important to follow this closely. What we want to do first in this particular kind of configuration, we want to change the motion from rigid to a planar mate. What that means, you can see the little image there, it just makes two parts or two faces of a part sit on the same plane. So choose that one first, then go back to position. Now, each of your parts you bring in are going to need at least 3 joints for it to lock in place. This will make more sense as you go. Good tip is that whenever you're choosing to do joints, try your best to choose faces. So here I'm going to choose the first face of this part. Now in this instance, I'm going to choose this bottom face. So click once on here, and then it goes to part 2. Now that bottom face of that tab, if I rotate my model, is going to sit on the bottom face of this. Now the clicking is a bit funny here sometimes, so click on the bottom face. It usually wants you to click twice, so click once more, and then what it does is it gives you some sort of a preview. Now this looks a little bit funky in the sense that it's overlapped it, but you can see that those two faces are joined how you intend them to be. That looks good. Just press OK and it will end up going back to its place like so. Cool. So that's the first joint. Whenever you create a joint, it will pop up here. So that's planar 1. And now if I click and move this, this will move according to that joint. So even though it looks a little bit loose and free, that face and that bottom face are connected. All right, let's add some more. Joint number 2. So it should stay as a planar position. I'm going to now choose this face. So just click on that face there. Now that face there is going to end up touching against this face here. So click on there. Sometimes you get this little error. If you just go don't show again and go OK, it's going to give you a preview. Now this preview looks okay. Every now and then the preview looks a bit funky, and what can happen if I just press flip, what can happen is it can actually flip the part over incorrectly, because there's actually 2 possible solutions of those 2 faces. So if that looks like this, back to front, just click on flip so it looks okay, and that looks good, press OK. Now if I click and move this, you can see it's now a lot more constrained. Those end faces are on the same plane, the bottom is connected, and there's only one more that defines where this is going to go. And this kind of gives you a clue. If I can move it in and out, then it's going to be something to do with this face. So one more joint, J. Choose this face first, spin your model, and then choose that face there is going to go against this face here. Sometimes you have to click once more just to confirm it. Gives you a funny looking preview, but it looks correct as those 2 faces. Click OK, and that looks better now. Cool. If I click and move this, you can now notice that with those 3 planar mates, I cannot move this part. It's locked in place, and if I look at this tab, that all looks really good. Happy days. Cool. That's the first 2 bits of the components assembled. You're going to repeat that with all these parts. So you can go back to your browser or you can go insert. Just remember with this particular project, you're going to need 2 of the sides. So if I bring the sides in next, what I can do is just drag it in. Let's bring in 1. I'm just going to spin this. Take close note from the design that this hole at the back is for the hinge of the lid. That needs to go at the back of the part. So that looks roughly okay. I'm going to add 1, and then I'm going to add a second one. So spin this one around 90. I'm going to put this out of the way and go okay. Cool. That's the next 2 bits. So again, to make this work, you need to apply those joints. J. This is a little bit tedious, but you get quicker at it. Bottom face there, bottom face there. Remember to click again sometimes. Okay. Cool, so that's that one. And again, these need 3. So usually start with the bottom. I usually like to start with the end face. That goes onto there. Okay. And then one more. That's going to be that face. Oops. Sorry, press that again. And that's going to go onto there. Press twice. Okay. Beautiful. That part's now on. Repeat with this one. Put the front on. Put that one in place. The only tricky bit with this is that I'm going to show you how to put the hinge on. The hinge is slightly different. Now I'll have sent to you the box hinge as a file. When you drag this in, I've created this with what's called 2 configurations. There's a right hinge and a left hinge. So you'd actually need 2. You need a left and a right. So if you spin this one, this is the left hinge. Is going to be somewhere over here. Let's just throw it out in that direction. Put another hinge out. This one's going to be the right hinge. Just make sure you've got one left, one right. Spin it round. move it out of the way. A good bit of advice, you'll find this whole process, there's lots of rotating and lots of clicking in assemblies. A good advice is to use a mouse. It's a bit faster than a trackpad. Alright, so those are in place. Now the joints on this one are a little bit different to make this one work. So J for joint. This one, we're gonna, rather than using a planar mate to start with, I'm gonna change from a planar to what's called a cylindrical. I've got this cylindrical face here and this cylindrical face here. I want those two to join together. So position, here I'm gonna choose that cylindrical face and that cylindrical face and go OK. And you'll see that those two now align and that can spin freely. This actually just needs one more constraint for starters. So J, I'm going to change back from cylindrical to planar and say that face can go onto that face. Once more, okay. There we go. That's now rotating. Cool. So you put those two hinges on. When you put the lid in, the lid will kind of hold the hinge together. So the lid can constrain to that back face and also the side and maybe the top. Once you put those in, you should find the box rotates like this. So back to my other assembly. You can see that there's a planar joint that goes between these faces and the hinges. And if you get it all correct and be a bit careful with it, you should be able to get the box lid to open and close. Cool. All the best with your assembly. I know it is a little bit tricky working with joints, but just do one at a time and be patient. If you do make a mistake, you can go into the joints, you can right click and you can delete a constraint if it's not right, or a joint, or you can just go back. Give your teacher a shout if you get really stuck, but have a good go, take your time, and best of luck with your assembly.